What is going on, guys? And I'm bringing another quick podcast. I thought this was kind of funny. One of my friends shared this with me on Facebook, and I guess it was the March for Our Lives. With that, I'm not too sure what it was for a while. I guess like being in Canada, it's not a huge thing here. But I mean, going through it, I mean, it was, for sure about guns and all that stuff. But the clip my friend showed me, it's a quick 3-minute clip of, I guess like it's called, the group's called Now This, and it's a video of them at the march, and I can't remember where it was. I'm gonna play the video real quick and see where it takes us. But it's funny because I guess they talk to quote-unquote hunters who think there should be more gun control and stuff like that. The funny thing is with this is that they seem weird because they don't seem like hunters to me. And you're talking to a person who has 7 years working as a natural resource officer dealing with hunters. The way they talk, the way they move, everything about that don't look like hunters, don't seem like hunters, don't know anything about hunters, but their costumes are awesome. Their costumes are great. It looks like they went to Cabela's and said, what does a hunter look like? I'll just wear woodland camo. And they put on woodland camo. So I'm going to start this clip and I'm just going to let everybody watch it for a quick 3 minutes here. So here we go.
I don't believe the propaganda of the NRA, right? Nobody's after my tools that I used that I enjoy to go hunting with. Nobody's talking about banning shotguns or hunting rifles. They're talking about banning military guns. My kids need to get through hours and hours of training to drive a car, yet nobody needs training to buy these assault guns.
I have spent time.
So I'm going to stop it there, and that first guy threw me off. Alright? Yeah, he has a camo jacket, but he's wearing like fancy fucking sunglasses, and like the way he's talking is not what a hunter talks like. I grew up, like my family are farmers, they're hunters. It's where I learned to hunt. It's where I learned, firearm discipline, even at a young age, right? Like, don't put your finger on the trigger, keep your muzzle low, right? Like, don't aim it at people, right? Like, you're gonna shoot an animal, like, all that steps, right? That was so fucking weird that he started talking about banning guns, banning shotguns, and then talking about his kids and how, like, my kids get hours on end to train for driving, but they can just go and get guns. It's like, listen, as a father, you would raise your kids to respect the firearm, the ammunition, respect the animal, respect the hunting game, right? Like, you don't just say stupid shit like that. There's no hunter in this world that would talk just like that. No one that I've ever met like that, not even myself. And I hunt here and there. I'm not an avid hunter, but I have hunt, and I still kind of go hunting when I can, kind of thing, like, maybe once a year. But like, there's guys who dedicate taking months off to go hunting, right? And I respect those people. They want to do, they enjoy it more than I do, but they tell how that if they have kids, or if they do have kids, that they make their kids at a young age respect a firearm. They know that they can't touch it, but if they do, that's that's daddy or that's mommy. Like, if don't touch that gun. But then they show them the steps at a certain age. They get old enough where you're like, hey, this is how you clean it. This is how it is. Listen, here's gun safety tips, right? Like, you lower your muzzle. You don't aim it at anybody. You keep your finger off the trigger. You make sure there's the safety lock. You make sure there's no round in the chamber. Stuff like that. For him to say that, that's already. Now we're gonna move on to this chick who apparently served in the military. So I'm gonna back it up a little bit here, and we're gonna go right at.
I have spent time in military programs across the world. So I have shot guns. Specifically, I've shot an M16, which is a military rifle. The force of the trigger is so powerful that I can't even imagine facing a human with that machine.
Hunters in general.
So that woman claim she was in the military, and that, or no, she spent time in military programs across the world. What military programs were you in? You're not specific. Where apparently you were so intimidated with your weapon that you either quit, and she says, like, I've shot shotguns, right? I've shot an M16, which is a military rifle. Okay, all right. Let's continue here. Then the force of the trigger is so powerful. I gotta admit, when I shot an M4 in Las Vegas, as a Canadian, we don't have M4s here. It did have a kick, but the thing is, like, I'm so used to shooting other guns like shotguns. You lean in, you adjust to it. Yeah, it has a thing, but like, you're part of the military, as you claim. That's your weapon. That's your tool. You get used to that tool. You work around that tool, right? And then she just says, I can't imagine facing a human with that machine. I don't believe you were in the military. To call your M16, to call your rifle a machine, not a tool. Those are a tool that you use. Just like a tool I use are handcuffs, batons, pepper spray, stuff like that. Those are tools. To call it a machine makes me think you're retarded and you're lying and this is all just a thing. But let's continue.
Facing a human in
hunters in general were really well situated.
Well, I'm gonna pause it right here. This kid, when I looked at him, made me laugh. The first two I was like, meh, okay, like whatever. But this kid here made me laugh. Just the way he is, just the way he talks, the way his stance is, doesn't make me believe he's a hunter. Like, it looks like he just went into Cabela's, like I said, grabbed a bunch of stuff and like, let me wear stuff. Like, he's got, was it the Army digital camo tape? I'm sorry guys, if you are military people like that in the U.S., I'm sorry. I know the difference. I kind of can tell the difference between Marines and Army, but please don't yell at me. Like, I don't know, but I respect you. Like, I do. Like, I don't want to get mixed up and yelled at, but like, I know that's a military tape, and I believe it's an Army camo that's taped around there. But then he's just wearing a camo vest, a plaid shirt, and a camo hat that he probably found. And the thing is, like, they all look brand new. It doesn't look old. So I'm going to just continue with them.
I think to be kind of in the middle of this argument, because I see firsthand the deadly power, of a firearm. And so things like bump stocks and high-capacity magazines, AR-15s even, I don't need those, and I don't think anyone does. And the reason why I'm specifically out here today is because the NRA and other groups, like them, hold hunters up as an excuse to not regulate firearms any further. Wayne LaPierre, you don't speak for me, and you don't speak for hunters.
So, everything about that kid bothered me. It just, take away his camo, take away his dress. He's another fucking kid who's like, I know a good idea. I'll talk to the media as hunters. They'll address me. I look the part. And he doesn't talk anything about fucking hunters other than the NRA using them as an excuse. Excuse for what? He's talking about, I'm in the middle of this argument. Like, you're not in the middle of anything. You don't have to be there. And it's like, I know, because I see firsthand the deadly power of a firearm. How though? You didn't explain anything. As a hunter, what are you talking about? Like, the deadly power of a firearm. Like, I don't know. Like, a hunter respects its animal that they kill, or if they've wounded and then they would take their life, like, they don't let it suffer and stuff like that. They understand it, they respect it, but they don't talk like that. I know firsthand the deadly power of a firearm. Did you serve? Because that tape around you makes you think like you serve, but you didn't mention it. You just say you're a hunter. You're fucking weird, right? And then he's talking about, like, the dump stocks, the magazines, right? Which is something, as a Canadian, is different from me. I think it's odd, and what I don't understand, I think, is weird. Doesn't mean I don't respect it. I don't ever understood a high-capacity magazine of 100 rounds is something that, somebody can purchase. For me, I mean, like, our stuff is like, 7 bullets here, or 7 rounds here, 10 rounds here, stuff like that. Like, it's not big, right? Like, we can't do that. And hunting is a lot different too, where like in a shotgun you can have one shell chambered, and then another two, and ready to rock and roll there. But I mean,
hunters up as an excuse to not.
but this kid I had to play a little bit there, but the kid bugs me. Like, I know you're lying. You're obviously lying. You're not explaining anything. You're just talking to the like, you're talking to now this. Did they hire you? Like, come on, man. Like, you got the little fuck. Everything about you's a lie. And then you're like, hey, Wayne LeBear, you don't speak for meat. Hunters don't give a fuck, right?
Wayne, you don't speak for hunters.
Both my parents are career Marine Corps veterans, and I am so proud of their service. And I grew up with.
I'm gonna stop that. I know it's gonna be 11 minutes, but I'm gonna circle this girl. See her? No one that looks like this in my years of experience in law enforcement in the field supports any law enforcement or military. Especially ones that go to protests to complain. Because her parents would have explained how to respect a firearm, to respect this, respect this. This looks like I respect my parents, and I grew up with a household of weapons, but I like to protest.
Weapons in the household, and I did feel very safe. I also believe that there is a way that they can keep, that their guns and be safe, and also limited that from people who shouldn't have guns.
Lightning round, ready?
Yes, okay.
Do you support universal background checks?
Yes.
Do you support banning assault weapons?
Yes.
Do you support banning high-capacity magazines?
Absolutely.
Do you support gun licensing?
Yes.
Do you support gun training?
Yes.
Do you support having a registry of guns?
Absolutely.
So that quick lightning round basically is Canada. We have a registry. Or we had a long, it was bad a few years ago where that registry was terrible. But I mean, we have licensing, we have training, we don't have high capacity magazines, any of that. We don't have assault rifles, but we do have military looking rifles. Like, you can still buy them, but they're semi-automatic and you can only hold a certain amount of ammunition in them. Stuff like that. I'm not familiar with the NRA, and I don't want to get into it. I just thought it was funny watching these fucking losers dress up as pretend hunters just to go to this protest. Like, look, there's hunters here. Look, anybody who's ever met a hunter know that they don't talk like that. And you have hunters that are everywhere. Like, don't say that they're rednecks. Don't say they live in the boonies. They live in the city. I have many that I work with in law enforcement. There's many that are like work at a grocery store. They're around. And they don't talk like that. They don't. They keep their peace. I mean, yeah, they're angry at certain things here and there, and they'll voice their opinion. But they don't go out and protest with a sign and lie like that and talk like that. No one I know talks like that.
You come at it.
Here you go. Let's continue.
I've been preaching this for a long time to my fellow.
He's been preaching this for his long time for a fellow hunter. So something tells me he bought a gun and he thinks he's a hunter, but no one wants to play with him. That's how I'm going to take this guy here. This guy.
Hunters. As long as you come at it, not that you're going to ban all guns. You tell them why you're doing this and have a conversation.
Look, Second Amendment is part of our Constitution. That's fine. It's the groundwork for this country. And
you don't even know what that means. You don't even know what that means. I know what kind of means. I don't even live in America, but I respect it. Groundwork for this country that's okay. What does that mean? What does that mean to you?
that's okay, but there's a limit to every law. We cannot have assault rifles on.
She doesn't want assault rifles on the street, but she says she was in the military and did programs around the world. When did you quit? When did you continue your career in the military? Was it a short thing? Did you show up and I saw a gun, I'm fucking done? Was that it? Because it fucking sure seems like it, because now you want assault rifles off the streets. There's nothing wrong with assault rifles. I, myself, don't see anything wrong with assault rifles. What does assault rifles have to do with hunting? Do Americans hunt with assault rifles? Because I know we can't. I know we can only do, bolt action and shotguns and stuff like that. But, assault rifles off the streets.
in the streets. I understand that it's fun. I understand you like to hunt. That's okay. But please keep your children safe.
I've been calling my
What does that mean? They're okay, but keep your children safe. What does that mean? I put my guns in a gun locker and my ammunition, everything's storaged up. I have a key lock on my guns, so like a trigger lock, and they can't go through it because I have a key. I don't have kids, but no one can get into it. You have to go through the fucking safe, which is like a code, and then you have to do a fingerprint, and then once you get through there, you have the trigger locks. And then how are you going to get through the trigger lock? It's not like I keep everything. And the ammunition's not with it together. That's against the law here in Canada. I don't keep my ammo with my guns. I keep it somewhere else. That doesn't make sense. What do you mean? Is my kids going to do that? Because my keys are with me all the time. No one can get into it without getting to me. They'd have to find out, is this the key to get in? They have no idea. No idea.
senators, and I hope that everyone else calls their senators too, especially sportsmen and fellow outdoors people.
Wow. Especially sportsmen and fellow outdoors people. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Who feel the same way I do.
And that's the end of the clip. I'm gonna cancel that right there. That's the video. I know I'm over 15 minutes. I want to keep it short, but like, listen, I support people, stuff like that. I don't believe in high capacity magazines. You know, I don't really care about combat style rifles. I think it's neat. I think it's cool. I don't serve. You know, they started bringing that into the natural resources department before I was leaving. I did have access to a Benelli M4 shotgun. Loved that thing. That thing was great. Like, it was, yeah, sure, it's fun, but it was steady. I loved the tool. It was great. It was very great to use. But I didn't lie who I am. Like, these guys are lying. This fucking kid holding this fucking sign is a fucking liar. He's not an outdoorsman. He's not a sport, like, as he called it, a sportsman. He's just some fucking kid holding a fucking sign that put fucking camo tape around it, went to Cabela's, or probably borrowed his fucking uncle's gear. And it's like, I want to know what a hunter looks like, Dad. Okay, go see your fucking uncle and put that shit on. Okay. And then he's talking shit. Same with the other ones. Like, I talk to my fellow hunters. Like, no, you don't. Your fellow hunters don't want to talk to you because you're a fucking weirdo. That's why you came here, to be a fucking heard by some fucking weirdo. And then you got some chick who says, I served in many military programs around the world. I don't believe you. You were so terrified of the fucking rifle that you're crying to say, like, we need to save our children. You gotta do something with the guns. You gotta lock them up. Like, keep your guns and save your kids. Like, my kid's not safe. Like, I don't understand. And I don't like how this video is a lying piece of shit. It just makes me mad. Like, it fucking makes me mad. It's not real. And fucking people will eat it up. Like, like, even here, like, there's tons of people who are laughing at this. Like, you're gonna make this shit up. But I'm running on 19 minutes. I'm gonna end it there. That was my quick video. Just wanted a little rant, doing it by myself. I'll think of something new, something good, like a good podcast later. But all right, guys, peace out.